Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is Tony. This
Hi.
is my baby's daddy, and little Grayson is over here eating. So basically, I just wanted to share with you guys my 17 and pregnant story and how we told our parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been a long time since we made Grayson, I should say.
So we got pregnant in March of 2018, and it was always kind of like a worry.
Yeah, it was really unexpected too.
Yeah, well, so basically, it was like the week before I was supposed to get my period, and I was like spotting, and I was like nauseous too, but it wasn't like too bad. So I just thought that it was like being nervous or being paranoid, and I was like spotting for like 5 days, and 5 days before I was supposed to get my period. And I know that implantation bleeding is a thing, and I wasn't sure because I thought, because usually whenever I get my period, it's like, well, sometimes if I spot before my period, then it's like a really heavy period. So I was thinking like I'm either pregnant or I'm about to have like a really heavy period.
Because I remember you saying you were spotting him. I was like, oh, it's probably nothing. It's probably just your period coming soon. But you're like, I don't know, because of
implantation bleeding. But I heard, because like I googled a lot of this stuff, and it said like it would only last like 3 days, but it was lasting 5 days. So I think on like Thursday or Friday, I was like, okay, well, I'm not pregnant, so I thought it was like my period. And I was in high school at the time, and I had gym class in second hour, so I put in a tampon thinking it was my period, and it wasn't my period. It stopped on the day that I was supposed to get my period. So that Friday, so the day that I was supposed to start my period was the Saturday, April 14th, and on April 13th, we went and got the test. I don't even remember where we went, like Target, probably.
Yeah, it was probably Target.
Yeah, Target.
We just got like
the first response pregnancy test, and we just kind of went off with our days. I remember we got frozen yogurt.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, and then we just like kind of took a walk.
Took a walk around.
And our intentions were to get the pregnancy test on Friday and then take one Saturday morning. But that night, I was too impatient, so I took one by myself. And
yeah, what the heck?
What were your thoughts on that?
I was just chilling at home. I was like, was it spring break for me?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so I took the test, and right away, like right after I dipped it in my pee, I'm pretty sure I peed on it because I didn't have a cup. And when the pee started, going across the line, the test line came up before the control line could even come up. And that was crazy. Like, I thought that the test strip was like in backwards. The control line came first and then the test line. But either way, there were still 2 lines. Yeah. So,
it was, you calling me and telling me that was like a shock, to be honest.
That was crazy. I really
you done, Grayson?
did not think that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And like right after, I went into my room and FaceTimed Tony, and
I don't even remember what I was doing. I was just like, I was either studying or like just playing a game at the time.
I don't even remember, but he was like, oh.
Yeah, it was...
like, he didn't really give much of a reaction.
Yeah,
he was just kind of like, wow. Like, same. But then the next day we went and got digital pregnancy test, and I took it with him, and I said pregnant.
Yeah, so. It was a hard pregnant. There was not, it immediately popped up, and
it was like no guessing.
No guessing.
It just said pregnant.
And then it was pretty soon after that we went to Planned Parenthood as well and got a test.
So here's where the story kind of starts. So we found out that I was pregnant, and the first person that we told was my sister, my older sister, and I told her through text. She was still at school. She was in college, and she told me to go to like Planned Parenthood and get the pregnancy confirmed. So that's what we did. And
yeah, I remember walking
that was basically, I don't even know if we had to go get that confirmed because that was a $40 pregnancy test.
Yeah.
So, and I couldn't even pay for it because my parents would have seen on the bank account, so Tony paid for it.
I mean, it's still. I mean, I think it was.
Because I'm pretty sure they'd confirm it at your first ultrasound that you're actually pregnant. But I don't know. Anyways, we went to Planned Parenthood, got a pregnancy test, and sure enough, it was pregnant.
Yeah, it was positive, and they gave us a bunch of resources.
Yep.
Yeah, they were pretty nice.
Yeah, they were nice.
The only thing was they had like a maximum security door there, so that was kind of.
What?
It was like a locked door that you had to buzz in.
Oh yeah.
Like they were not messing around with.
Probably because people don't like Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. But they were very helpful. They gave us resources, and they're like, read these to consider your options, which was nice.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, I knew that I was gonna keep this baby no matter what.
Recent.
Yeah. So we went to Planned Parenthood. We got it confirmed, and after that, I don't even remember. We told his parents first. I thought his parents were gonna be the hardest to tell.
Yeah, we did tell them. Or I told my parents first. I actually came back on a Wednesday night.
He was at school. He stays at his
I was staying
campus.
at school in a dorm, and I was like, all right, I'm coming back this day, and I'm going to tell them because it was important. So I went home, and I was like, hey, I have something to tell you guys. I think you need to sit down. And they're like, oh, no. Because they were like, oh, did like you crash a car or anything? But I was like, so, yeah, Taylor's pregnant. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it kind of happened all of a sudden. And they were just shocked. They didn't know what to say. And they're like, all right, go back to school for now, and we'll talk about it later. You know, go back to school and focus on that, and we'll talk more on the weekend. And that was basically it. And I went to go see Taylor after that, but they were very disappointed.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurt, but it's the shock of it, really.
Yeah. So like, pretty much a week after he told his parents, I told my parents, and I was terrified. My sister came home. Her college is like 3 hours away. She drove home to tell my parents with me, which I'm so thankful for because I don't know what I would have done if I was alone in that situation.
Yeah, imagine being with your parents. A very stressful, intense situation. So.
Yeah, well, so she came home from school and we were in the living room. My mom got home. My mom gets home first and then my dad gets home. So my mom gets home and me and my sister are just like on the couch, and first off, my mom was confused on why my sister was home, so she was like questioning her about it, and she was just like really sketched out on why my sister was home and why we were just like sitting on the couch.
Yeah, chilling.
Just like being weird, and I don't remember exactly how we told her, but we were just acting weird, and then she just...
Did you tell your mom first and then your dad?
Yeah.
That's how it went.
Okay, so we didn't actually tell my mom. She just guessed it. She was like, are one of you pregnant? Yeah, and then it was me,
what
and then...
guess?
And she was just...
She was probably shocked.
She was shocked, and she ended up leaving right after, and she went down to like a park that we lived by, and she texted my sister and told her to go over to that park, and I guess they went over to one of my cousin's house and just like talked about it, and I don't even remember when my dad found out, like probably a few days later.
Yeah, because I remember at the time they were like, all right, we need to figure out how to tell your dad because he's the one that gets mad. And
he didn't know, but actually I think the thing that he was mostly mad about is that my mom told my cousin before him.
Oh yeah.
That's what they were arguing about, and the arguments got pretty bad, and I felt really, really bad about it.
Yeah.
But I never saw any negative reaction from him.
It was just mostly surprise and shock, really, that I would describe it. Like, even with my parents, it wasn't like super like, oh, get out of our house or anything like that. It was more of like, what happened, like,
yeah, like you said that your parents were like asking why didn't we use condoms and like
stuff like that.
Yeah, because his parents are like very traditional. Like his mom didn't even want us like up in his room because she thought that like if we're not married, we shouldn't be in the same bed and stuff.
Yeah, she's a very traditional thinker, and but like she's just looking out for us in a way. But yeah, so your parents were a whole thing.
I think they reacted worse, but none of our parents
were
like kicking us out or like doing
worst
anything
case scenario,
like that. They came around really quickly
because they were supportive. They were very supportive, actually, and that's a good thing for us because without our parents or your parents,
because like he's in college right now,
without
he wouldn't be able to do that without his parents.
We wouldn't be able to do a lot of things without them. So it was very, very good for them, or for us to have them. Yeah. And very fortunate for us to have them because because now he has very good grandparents. So we found out in April.
So I was still in school, and the last day of when all this happened, I was still in school, and my last day of school was May 17th, and that was actually my first doctor's appointment for little Grayson, and we went with, it was me, my mom, and Tony, who all went, and we got a little ultrasound. We saw him. This was at 9 weeks. I was 9 weeks pregnant when we got that ultrasound, and he just looked like a little bean. He was like,
he was tiny.
He was like moving his little arms and legs.
He was so small.
Yeah, and we could see his heartbeat. I don't think we heard it yet because he was still too small.
Yeah, we definitely did not hear it at that time. So
yeah, we saw our little baby on May 17th.
Yeah, first time seeing him actually. So
very first time, and that was just like real for me.
Yeah, at that moment was like,
I saw it and I was like, oh my god. Like my first thing that I said when I saw him was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That little thing's inside of me, and it was you all along. It was you all along. Yeah.
So yeah, that was. I remember that because you were very emotional seeing that for the first time, and I was like, oh wow, and your mom was like, whoa.
Yeah, she did. I don't even remember her saying anything.
Yeah,
she was kind of like looked at it.
Yeah, because at that point was like, oh wow, this is real now. Like, not the pregnancy test or anything, but at that point when he first saw Grayson.
Because I've heard a lot of like, sometimes women get like positive pregnancy tests, but there's actually like a cyst or something in their uterus.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And also, I had terrible morning sickness.
Oh yeah, your morning sickness was.
It wasn't
so
even
bad.
morning sickness. It was like all day and all night sickness. It was.
It was just basically 24/7 nausea, really. Like
so,
bad
like,
nausea.
A little bit after we found out, I think like, I don't even know, like 2 or 3 weeks after we found out that I was pregnant, I started getting terrible sickness. Like I was missing so much school.
Yeah.
I don't even think I went to 1 full day of school after I found out that I was pregnant because the sickness was so bad.
That probably clued your parents in too a little bit with the amount of school you were missing.
But okay, so I was kind of like nauseous before they found out, but I wasn't actually throwing up. But they didn't. I don't know. I don't think they thought anything of it because I would miss a lot of school anyways because I just didn't like school.
Yeah, you were a lazy senior at the time.
Lazy high schooler, really. But yeah, I was so sick. I could not go to school, and I would go to the nurse a lot to go home, and they kind of guessed that I was pregnant, and they were so nice and so sweet about it, and I missed a lot of school, and I was already like on the verge of like not being able to graduate because of how much stuff I was missing in school, and of course my parents thought that I just didn't want to finish high school, so that was like a really rough time for us, but I made it and I graduated in June, and that I think like a week after that is when all of the rest of my family found out.
Yeah, I think I remember what you said. It was like you posted something on Instagram and your cousin.
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
No.
Oh.
My parents posted on their Facebook that I was pregnant and that it was a boy.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that too.
And that's how the rest of my family found out. And Tony's parents or family didn't find out until like 34 weeks, 35 weeks.
Yeah, they didn't find out for a while.
Yeah, his parents, I don't really remember. They just didn't want them to know.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't the right time, I guess, for them to know.
Yeah, they were like, let us handle it and we'll tell the family like in some fashion. And It was pretty late into the pregnancy when my family found out.
Yeah,
but, like,
because they saw baby shower pictures.
yeah.
On
But
my...
they were also very supportive. Like,
Oh yeah.
they love seeing Grayson.
Oh yeah, they all love Grayson now. And it's kind of hard to talk about like our parents' reactions and stuff now because like they're so supportive now and they love Grayson so much.
Yeah, Grayson is such a spoiled kid because of it.
Yeah. And didn't you told your aunt? Your aunt was the first person on your side.
I told my aunt first because
she was so nice.
Because I needed to talk to my mom, and I was like, hey, I need to tell my parents something. And I went to
this
her
was before he told his parents.
Yeah, I went to her for advice, and a little while later, Sam was like, why didn't you tell me first? I'm like, I didn't even think about it.
Sam,
my brother, yeah. But I didn't even think about it because at the time, Sam was like, just off doing whatever, so yeah, so I reached out to my aunt for advice, and everything went out really well because my aunt was really supportive. She at the same thing, she was like, oh my god, Tony, what? But she was very supportive, and
I remember
even now,
I was in, I think, science class when you were like texting her about it.
Oh yeah.
And like you were sending me like screenshots or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just reading it, like nervously reading it in class, and
yeah,
I don't know.
But
it was.
Yeah, now it's
Everything
just
is so
different.
good. Yeah, and we got our little baby chewing on his bib.
But,
so cute.
Were there a lot of milestones we hit when you were going through your pregnancy? Like, I remember seeing the first ultrasound, hearing his first heartbeat. That's something.
We heard that 16 weeks. We heard his first heartbeat at no, it was 14 weeks because that was our second appointment. And because when you're pregnant, your first trimester, you go every month. And I think when you hit 30 weeks, you go every other week or something.
Yeah.
And then at 35 weeks and on, you go every week.
So they check and all that.
Yeah, so at 14 weeks, he heard his little heartbeat. And actually, you're only supposed to get like 2 ultrasounds throughout your pregnancy. One is your first appointment. I think if you're like very early on, you get like 2 ultrasounds in your first trimester, but we only got one because we were 9 weeks. And then we got one at 14 weeks because we were in the appointment and we weren't expecting to get an ultrasound.
Right.
But then she said like, hey, the ultrasound room is open. Do you want an ultrasound?
Do you just want to go in?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's out of the blue.
And that's when he actually looked like a little baby.
Yeah.
And we heard his little heartbeat.
Ooh, trying to eat my hand, kiddo.
Yummy. And, I miss it so much.
Yeah.
Really
and then,
good time.
I remember during the pregnancy, all you would eat was chicken tenders and like
I could not keep anything down when I was pregnant. Like the only thing that I could really keep down is a potato, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, but
potato and chicken. That's all I could eat.
In some way, Grayson grew up and was perfectly healthy and normal weight, which is surprising because of how picky you are.
Yeah. Also, like, I was so nauseous during my pregnancy that I couldn't even take my prenatals. Honestly, I'm gonna recommend their First Response has prenatal gummies. I would 100% recommend them. Seriously, I would not.
First Response.
Yeah,
we're just plugging. We're just plugging out there for First Response.
I would not have been able to take my prenatals if it wasn't for First Response.
Yeah. First Response basically made you, kiddo.
Yeah, you were grown off of them.
Yeah.
He was a healthy 8.6 pound baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, First Response though, like their pregnancy tests, their prenatals, they really for your pregnancy was a big plus.
So yeah, that was my 17 and pregnant story.
Yeah. That was a long time ago, very long time ago. But we might come back, talk about delivery sometime.
Yeah, we'll talk about the labor and delivery.
Yeah, because that's a whole nother story.
I almost died. Like, I literally almost died.
But if you want to find the details, tune back in later.
Yeah, we'll definitely make another video about that because that was really scary.
Yeah, that's a whole...
It was like such an easy labor, but like so scary at the end.
Yeah.
And
the hospital was really nice, the people there.
So nice. That's one thing that I was really scared about being young and pregnant is the OB and the hospital being mean to us, but they were all so nice.
OB was
No, they were all really nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's all for this video. Make sure you stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be talking about the labor and delivery. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how you came to this world, Grayson. All right, say bye.
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 Bye.